can plan on me. These are snow and mistletoe and presents under the tree. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. This is Christmas with Lydia Naomi, and today I'm here to show you some quick DIY gifts. So grab your sewing machine, grab some fabric, and let's get sewing. Oh, you shouldn't have. And this is just a nice little festive silk scarf.
Scarves. Everyone loves a good silk scarf, of course. To make these, I cut two 18 by 18 squares, folded up the edges an eighth and an eighth, then sewed two ways. So for the red one, I hand sewed it. I think it's more delicate and looks more quality to me. And I also think I made up the stitch that I used, but you could do something like this or this. I actually love hand sewing if I have the time, but if I don't, I'll just machine sew, of course. And I machine sewed the striped scarf.
More for me.
I cut out the pattern that I made in a silk charmeuse and used black fusible interfacing to block light and to create some body. I folded the band right side to right side and sewed around, leaving one side open, and I sewed the elastic to the seam allowance at the opposite end. I then used a knitting needle to turn it out and attached it at the notches on the eye piece. I sew around it, leaving an opening at the top. And then I turn it out, iron it, and add some stuffing to make it soft and plush. And then I slip stitch the opening to finish.
Feeling so loved today. This is a reusable produce bag that I made out of veil fabric, tricot mesh, and you can too.
I really enjoyed making these because I know they'll be so useful. So I cut a 13 by 30 rectangle for the regular size and an 8 by 10 for the small size. And then 1.5 inches down from the top edge, I snipped a 1/4 inch into the fabric and I folded these back and sewed them down. This is the opening for the drawstring. I then serged both sides. A zigzag will work really nice as well. I then reinforced with a back stitch at the top and bottom of the seams, and then I fold over the top and stitch it down. Then I feed this thrifted cotton rope through with a safety pin and tie off the ends. Keep in mind that most of the materials I use in this video can be sourced at a thrift store. You could even upcycle a silk top or find a light curtain fabric and pay a fraction of the price. Or even better, use what you have at home.
Oh, another, of course. How did you know? I have wanted beeswax wraps for so long. No, but seriously, I have wanted beeswax wraps. I feel like a terrible human being every time I use plastic wrap because plastic is basically the worst. So I think this is a great gift for anyone. It's a great way to kickstart somebody's environmentally conscious mindset. So yeah, these are great. Let me show you how to make it because it's super easy.
To start, you want to get a brick of beeswax. I found mine at the One of a Kind show. You can probably get it on Amazon, I think. So I grate this up and I cut 3 sizes of cotton squares. So a 15 by 15, a 10 by 10, and a 6 by 6. I cut them with pinking shears to give them a nice finish. After, you will lay down some parchment paper, place your squares on it, evenly sprinkle the grated wax over your cotton squares, and then place the parchment over top and iron. Make sure that you use cotton fabric because maybe linen will work as well, but you need an absorbent fabric so that it will absorb the beeswax. Just keep adding more wax until the cotton is completely saturated. To use them, you just place them over your container and mold it with your hands. I will admit they aren't quite as sticky as I had hoped, but I think that they're still a great alternative to plastic.
What's the spray towel? I saw this on Pinterest and I thought it was really cool. It's basically a sack, so you can put your stuff in it. Your stuff, put your groceries, reusable bag. And then you put the long one through the short one. And then you can just hold it like this. It's just like a little sack. Super cute!
So I had some super white cotton and I wanted to make it match my natural looking canvas fabric. So I just boiled it with some tea bags and that worked really well. I used this fabric as the lining and just plain canvas for the shell. So after cutting 2 of each of the pattern in each fabric, sew the strap seams and iron them open and flat. Next, place right side to right sides and sew the inner circle. Snip along the curves and then turn it out and iron it down. For the outer strap, fold in both sides, the shell and the lining, and iron it down. It'll help to snip slightly at the curves to keep the rounded shape. Before you sew the outer strap, flip the bag inside out and sew the sides of the shell and the lining with right sides together. Next, do a top stitch around the outer strap and the inner strap. And to close up the bottom, you will pleat at the notches as shown and stitch down, then serge or zigzag to finish. Turn this all out and you're done.
What could it be? Luxury. Okay, so I really like the designer Roxanda, and I saw these silk puffer scarves of different jewel tones, and I thought, that is the most beautiful thing. So I bought some silks and I patchworked them together and I created a puffer scarf.
So my dimensions for this scarf is 65 by 15. If I make it again, I would make it probably 20 inches longer, so keep that in mind. I created a sort of patchwork with diagonal panels of contrasting silks by sewing them right sides together. I then ironed the seam to one side and top stitched. Then I placed the two finished panels right sides together and added a double layer of poly batting. I stitched it together with the fabric on the top of the batting and left a 5-inch opening at one end. I then trimmed the excess batting and turned it out, pushing out the corners. Next, I slip stitched the opening. Then I measured even spaces for the quilting stitch and marked it with pins. I measured about 8 inches in between my quilted stitches. I used the grid of the fabrics to help me sew straight lines, and I backstitched at beginning and end. And voila!
Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Bye!
To write a Christmas carol about last minute shoppers. Last minute shoppers jingle down the aisles, frolicking through the aisles of presents. Don't know what to get, don't know what to do because you're last minute. Now, be last minute, be real. No sugarcoat as if this is November.